Happy Austin Pride Month, everyone. I'm Joel.
I'm JP.
And this is Steven from Kind Clinic. And we're here today as contestants for this year's Unite the Fight.
So we'll start off, tell us a little bit about yourself, your role at Kind Clinic, just all of that good stuff.
Okay. My name is Steven. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And I am the Director of Community Health here at the Kind Clinic. So I oversee a few different programs. I oversee our volunteer program, our early intervention services team. So we focus on linkage to medical care and support services for patients who are living with HIV. And then I also oversee our outreach and testing teams, which operate our mobile testing van and our walk-in clinics.
Wow.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's awesome, Steven. And Steven, what has your, what originally drew you to Kind Clinic, or what, got you interested in being a part of this great organization?
Yeah, so back in 2015, the sexual health landscape in Austin was very different. There weren't many places where you can go and get tested and treated like a human, like a human should. There were very few options, and PrEP had been approved by the FDA for about 3 years at that point, but a lot of providers in Austin were still not prescribing it. And I remember me and a lot of my friends were having trouble getting our provider to just write us a prescription for this medication that had been approved and been around for a while, and they just didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And so a group of volunteers got together and figured out a way to make that happen. And the idea was that they were going to open up this after-hours clinic in a borrowed space, and everyone there was going to be a volunteer, and we were going to get people on PrEP, and that's how it happened.
That's awesome.
I started doing outreach in the community before the clinic even opened, just getting the word out about, hey, this really cool thing is opening up. If you're having trouble, don't worry anymore. This is where you can come in and get tested and get on the medication that you want to get on. And there's a group of knowledgeable people who are going to be there and treat you the way that you need to be treated. And it was really cool to see the community response. And I remember on the first day the clinic opened, there was a line out the door, down the hallway, and here we are today in three cities across the state. And we have a really robust telemedicine program now. And so yeah, that's how I got started.
That's incredible. So you've been here since the beginning, like the very inception of Kind Clinic.
True pioneer.
Cool. I mean, that's super cool.
That is really cool. Like, honestly, like, just that, to me, it almost brings tears to my eyes. It's kind of makes me emotional, because I like yourself, remember like a few years back coming and being in New Orleans, right? And it's like, okay, I'm young, I know I need to get tested, I know I probably should get on PrEP, but I just don't know where to go, right? And sometimes it's kind of hard to like go somewhere and actually feel accepted or not feel ashamed about things. And it's so awesome that you guys, y'all are doing this for the community. When I first moved to Austin, I was like, okay, where am I gonna go get tested? Where am I gonna go feel safe? And every time I've come here, y'all made me feel welcome, and every chance I get to tell anyone about Kind Clinic, I do. So thank y'all for that.
It was very different back then, and it wasn't just getting on PrEP too, like getting into medical care for folks who are living with HIV. Also, there were very limited options back then as well, and that's why as we started to grow over time, when we became a full-fledged clinic in our own space with employees, we started to grow our services, and that was one of the services that we added first was HIV medical care, and then from there, we just kept expanding because of the trying to meet the needs of our community.
What kind of programs do you all offer? Could you talk a little bit about those?
So there's, for every patient who comes in to receive services, there is a dedicated member of our staff who is assigned to that patient to help them with medication assistance. Sometimes it's a case manager, sometimes it's a community health worker, but more than often it is a patient advocate. And they are the ones who enroll our patients into medication assistance programs so that we can make sure that patients don't have to pay a copay when they go pick up the medication at the pharmacy, or that they don't have to stress about how they're going to pay for their next prescription because maybe they just lost their job, or they just lost their insurance, or it's expensive right now. Bills are really expensive. Groceries are really expensive. Gas is really expensive, and the last thing you want to worry about is how am I going to get my medication? And our staff makes sure that we remove that barrier for our patients.
That's awesome.
Nice. What do you think? What's the biggest misconception about Kind Clinic that's out there?
Yeah, I think there's two really big ones that I hear a lot. One is that you have to be gay to come here, and that's not the case. While we do have an expertise in serving the LGBTQIA+ community and those impacted by HIV, everyone is welcome at Kind Clinic. I think the second other biggest misconception is that you have to be uninsured in order to receive services here, and that's not true either, because if you have insurance, you're actually helping another patient who doesn't have insurance get their visit covered. So that's like the first thing I ask when people are like, oh, I'm on prep with my provider or someone else, and I'm like, are you happy with your care? Would you like to switch to Kind Clinic? Because you actually help somebody get their medication by using your insurance with us. So I hear it all the time. Someone's like, oh, I don't want to take up a spot that somebody else could really use. And it's like, no. You're creating a spot for somebody to use by using your insurance. So
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So you've been here since the beginning. Think if you don't mind just sharing, completely anonymous, any kind of story that stuck with you, something really cool, or some way the clinic really helped an individual, or anything like that, like anything that stuck out over the years.
One of the earliest ones was when we were first getting started. And of course, we were all trying to get the word out about the clinic opening, and then also, looking out for ourselves and our health and wanting to become a patient as well. And I remember a friend going to their PCP to get on prep. Their provider said no. And so they had to wait until the clinic opened. And when we were getting the word out, it was months ahead of when the clinic was actually going to open. And they finally got an appointment at the Austin Prep Access Project, which is what it was called back then. And when they got tested, they tested positive for HIV. And so they weren't able to access the medication that they had waited so long for. And I was like, that's why we're doing this, because folks shouldn't have to be in that situation and having to wait for a medication that can easily be prescribed. And I love that we have all the additional support services and not just medical. So like folks can get linked to a case manager who can help them, create goals and get into the services that they need. If they need housing or transportation assistance, making sure that they make it to their appointments so they can continue to not just live but thrive.
I love that.
I think also one of the things I really love that you all do is like the mental health counseling part of it. Could you share a little bit about that?
So Waterloo has been around in Austin since 1983, providing affordable and competent mental health services. And we always had a really great relationship with them when Kind Clinic was founded. And it was actually during the pandemic when we merged with them and became the same organization. And so you had a lot of these great services that were being offered to our patients already, and it was just a good fit. And so now patients at Kind Clinic can receive mental health services without having to like go through a long referral process. We're in the same buildings. Same staff, we're all part of the same organization. So it's no longer like, sending somebody out and then, maybe they'll follow up, maybe they won't. Now it's this very smooth transition, and, their medical provider can talk to their counselor, and, it's much more cohesive care.
And Steven, what's some of the ways that you would say, like, not only us, but like, viewers or people in the community can be advocates for Kind Clinic and for these great organizations that support us? Like, what ways can they get involved?
Yeah, you can volunteer. You can sign up on our website, kindclinic.org/volunteer. That's a great way is to give your time back. You can become a patient if you aren't a patient of ours. Obviously, like I said earlier, using your insurance really helps somebody who is uninsured. But even if you were uninsured, that's not to say that you shouldn't still be a patient of ours either, because everyone is welcome here, and you can become a donor and give monthly as well, or one time. Every cent helps.
Why do you think, or why do you feel like supporting organizations like Kind Clinic through Unite the Fight is so important?
Well, one, it's a fabulous event, so you get to have fun while fundraising, and you don't get really too many opportunities to do that all in one night. So that's a great way to put your dollars to good use in a fun way. And you get to dress up, and it's fun, and see everything. And then there you get to have a really great show by some really good contestants. But also because you're supporting really amazing work, not just by us, but from all the beneficiaries. We're all doing some really amazing work and supporting a lot of folks who are worth that support. And by getting involved with Unite the Fight, you're ensuring that continues to happen.
And if I remember correctly, you were a mentor or a coach one year,
I
right?
was, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was a great experience. I had always been as a part of Kind Clinic, going to go see the show, and it was really cool to be behind the scenes that one year. We won, so I gracefully retired after that because I had done it all at that point. And Eli, my contestant, was amazing. We raised a lot of money that year. We put on a good show. I was happy with it.
Well, Steven, if people watching this, even gave just $25, for watching this, what kind of difference would that make?
It would make a big difference. $25 covers, one HIV test for somebody who comes in, and we do thousands of HIV tests each year, and so you're covering an essential test that can be life-changing information for some folks, and that's one less thing that they have to worry about when they come in through the door, is that they won't have to pay for one of the tests that they need. And by doing that, you're helping somebody take charge of their sexual health and make informed decisions about their health.
So Steven, imagine there's someone out there that is maybe scared of getting tested, or asking about PrEP, not sure how to go about it. Maybe they're even just a little embarrassed. Like, what would you say directly to them, to make them feel hey, it's okay to come here? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I would say I know exactly what you're going through, because I was the same. I was out there making a lot of uninformed decisions about what possible implications could have happened from that. And I remember I put off getting tested for years. I was like, well, I don't want to know. It's fine. I'll cross that bridge when it happens. And finally, I just said, you know what? I had already started volunteering in this field, and I was like, okay, I should probably, actually do it myself. After spreading the good word about getting tested and knowing your status, and I don't even know my own. So I just said, okay, I'm going to do this, and it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. And I was glad that I was in a safe space with somebody who supported me and didn't judge me, and that's exactly what you can have here, because that's what we strive for. It's in our name. We try to treat everybody with kindness and make sure that they feel safe and taken care of every time they walk through our doors.
Nice. Gosh, I'm getting emotional now. Yeah, that's so sweet.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So before we turn it over to you to ask us some questions, any final thoughts, anything you want to share, just as we're wrapping up?
Yeah, Kind Clinic and Waterloo Counseling have a plethora of services that folks can benefit from. We offer access to PrEP, PEP, HIV medical care and support services, STI testing and treatment, we offer gender affirming care, intersex care, vaccines, case management, individual therapy, group therapy. We have a support group that meets each week. There's a lot of services that folks can access here. So if you're interested, come and check us out.
What's the best way to check it out?
Yeah, we have our website, kindclinic.org. You can check us out on social media. You can give our phone line a call and talk to one of our patient support representatives who can point you in the right direction by calling 1-833-WE-ARE-KIND.
Oh,
Love it.
love that.
Perfect.
Thank you, Steven.
All right, now it's my turn.
Yes, she's like,
Yes.
All right, so I have some questions for y'all.
Okay.
Obviously, I sat here and talked about Kind Clinic, but before you heard my spiel, what did you know about the Kind Clinic?
I had first moved to Austin, and I was looking for a clinic. I was like, okay, I need to go get tested. Where can I go? Pulled up the Google Maps, and Kind Clinic was there. And I went and got tested, and one of the things, like you mentioned earlier, was just the experience that I had right from the door. Like, you know, the friendly staff greeting you. I saw there was Golden Girls on the TV in the lobby, and I was like, yes, this is my clinic now. And just every member of the team was so like nice and welcoming. And, you know, I knew obviously there was like testing was part of it, but I didn't know about all the other services, which was like a huge bonus perk. I was like, this is pretty cool.
What made you want to get involved with Unite the Fight?
Oh, yes.
This one.
Yes. So when I first moved to Austin, you know, like natural, you make your friends, and I kept hearing about this great like event called Unite the Fight, this great gala, and to me, like, I'm a sucker for a good gala. So I was like, oh, what's this event? And one of my close friends at the time was like, it's this awesome event where they select one person from the community, and not just our community, just anyone in the Austin community that applies, and they put them in drag for the first time. And so when I found out about it, I was like, man, I really, really want to do this. And so I kept applying every year. And this year, the theme was power couples. And so I immediately turned to him and I was like, we have to do this. You don't have a choice. And then applied, and and then we got selected, and I was so excited. So
That's pretty much exactly what happened. He had talked to me a lot about it before, and then the announcement came out that they were doing power couples this year, and it was a couples theme, and it was a very aggressive ask.
Yeah.
to apply for it. And at the time I was like, what am I getting myself into? But now it's turned into a super cool event. It's way outside of my comfort zone. And I think it's good to push yourself and do things like that. So,
Yeah.
And so far it's been really fun. Like a bit stressful and nerve-wracking, but fun.
Yeah.
And
It's fun now because you haven't been put in drag fully yet.
Yes, that's
it's
right.
uncomfortable.
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah, the shoes, man. Like,
What are
Lord.
you looking most forward to about being in drag?
I don't know, like, honestly, being somebody else, like having this sort of permission to just do whatever I want, be a different person, you know, I look at it as kind of like a mask, like
Yeah.
it sort of enables you to just really be different and kind of embrace the ridiculousness and fun and campiness of drag. I love campy drag queens, like that do funny, ridiculous stuff. And so I'm excited to have the opportunity to experience, to just be able to do that outside of myself.
I think too, along with that, other than obviously being in drag the first time, is just like the cool thing about it is like the organizations that you're supporting. It's like you're doing this great gala to support all these organizations. People are donating, people are attending, and all that money is going to, again, to those organizations. It's another big reason. But as you mentioned, yeah, the heels, those are fun. Now I understand why drag queens are always late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot.
That's
It
a
is
lot.
That's why I picked a grandma, so I didn't have to do all that.
It's like, I got an excuse.
Yeah.
That is so smart.
That is smart.
So, what has been the greatest thing that you've learned about each other during this process so far?
Patience. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's it. That's a joke. No, the greatest thing I would say is, I mean, I already knew there was support. Obviously, like, obviously you would hope your partner's supportive, right? But it's just been, really, I don't know, I'm like, I'm trying not to get emotional, but just like having someone there to, be there like every step of the way through the process has been great. Whether it's like me putting on heels and feeling like I'm probably walking very funny. He's like, you got it, keep going. Like just being your cheerleader the whole time has been great.
Yeah, similar for me, and somebody to trust, to sort of be honest when I'm not doing things that look good, or I'm, need to take a different approach to something. So I think it's allowed us to become more honest with each other, and I learned a lot about Joel and first of all, his dedication to a job. Like when we found out we were doing this, he was like, we have to shave, we have to we're getting pads, we're like we're doing the whole thing. So he's very dedicated to being the best possible drag queen, performer that he can be. And that sort of also pushed me into that mindset of just taking it really seriously and like wanting to do the best we can possibly do. No matter what, like no matter how ridiculous we might look, we're gonna do the best show we can possibly put on.
Sometimes
Yeah.
the more ridiculous you look, the better of
The
a show it
better.
is.
Yeah.
That's how I always do it.
I love that. Like Jimbo is one of my favorite drag queens ever, and so that's kind of my idol. Something just dumb and funny, and entertaining.
Oh, can't wait for the show this year.
Yeah.
Has there been anything throughout your drag journey so far that has really like changed your perspective?
Everything, like the heels in particular. Like I had never tried on heels before, and
It's hard to find your right size, first of all.
Yes. Well, our mentor Lori Bird, she took us to what was La Rouge.
La Rouge.
To try heels. And I honestly thought it would be. I was like, oh, this will be cool. I might have to work on my balance a little bit, but it is really difficult. Like they hurt. It's balance is weird. Like I felt like a baby deer trying to learn to walk in those things.
Dorothy Spornak and Jolly Green.
She said I looked like a cross between the Jolly Green Giant and Dorothy Spornak when I walked around in my heels. So that and just everything that is involved, like the pads, how you glue down wigs, like. I did not realize that all of that, and I love RuPaul, but that stuff doesn't really come through. Like the dedication to really, I mean, it's not comfortable. You're really doing this art that is not comfortable.
It's not.
That's what I learned. The pain of drag.
I think one thing that's definitely changed my perspective, which I kind of already had the perspective of like, okay, drag's probably a little expensive. Girl, it is very expensive.
It is expensive.
It was like, but that's like, but it's that part is why it's like ever more so important to tip your drag queens. Make sure you're showing support, because it really does take, time, it takes effort, it takes a lot, and what I love about a good drag queen is one that actually has a message behind her drag. And that's what's really something that we need nowadays, right? In these like crazy times, is somebody to give us that positive light, someone to be like, hey, it's okay to be gay, it's okay to be you and proud, and who cares what other people think, and like, just live your life. And I love that, Austin has a great community for that, like, all of our queens, and not just our queens, but all of our performers in entertainment, I feel like definitely show all of that different, diversity, and show all that different love in different ways of like, just be authentically yourself, and it's okay.
Yeah, we do have a lot of really great activists in the community, in the drag community specifically too. So, have y'all learned how to tuck yet?
No.
No, I'm a little nervous.
Are you gonna?
Me too. I'm so nervous about that. Not yet.
You can just get a costume where you don't have to.
No, we have to.
You have to? Okay.
Yes.
It's an option.
Yes.
We have to have pads and tuck. Like that's
I love that.
So has there been any, what did I just get myself into moments that have happened yet? Or
Pretty much the whole time.
The
Pretty
whole
much
time.
the whole time. I thank God we're doing it together, because I think if I was doing it by myself, I would just be a mess of anxiety.
Yeah.
Like I would be so scared of and nervous. But since we're doing it together, I think we do a good job of helping each other be more comfortable and like working through all of that. But yeah, it's scary. It's scary. I'm still thinking, oh my gosh, it's right around the corner. Like we have so much to do.
Less than almost 6 weeks, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So almost 6 weeks. So yeah, no pressure. I think the like big one was like, obviously like this, cause like performing part, I felt like a little bit more comfortable. Like that part I was okay with, but I think the fundraising part was the part that like kind of intimidated me the most, right? It's just because it's a lot, and it's such a like kind of hard time, right? To be like, hey, can you come sponsor? Or hey, can you come like donate this crazy amount of money? But what I've realized is that, yes, that's very important, but every dollar, every cent counts. It doesn't matter whether it's $1, whether it's $5, whether it's $20, or whether it's $500. Like every contribution really does help, like these great causes. And I think, I've tried to switch that, mindset of like, you're gonna get some no's, but that's why you have to keep going at it. You have to be just as aggressive with performing and getting ready for drag with the fundraising part, because you're doing something great for like these great causes, and these great causes deserve that support. So I think it's just trying to keep that positive, space that maybe somebody might say no, but the next person's gonna say yes.
obviously, I'm assuming y'all hope to raise the most amount of money. You hope you get the highest score. But at the end of the day, what do you hope to get out of this competition?
Everyone that's attended or that has seen it, whether it's like at Highland afterwards, can just remember that like, hey, it's okay to like let loose, have fun, like just be yourself. Who gives a damn what other people think? And that it's a great experience to just like be able to share that with people. So I think that's probably one of the things that I hope that I get out, like that not only I get out of this, but other people get out of this, that you can just be yourself.
Yeah, the same really. That I really hope to get out, not as most importantly to help these organizations as much as possible, because that's the point of the whole thing. But also like developing new relationships, meeting new people, getting a little bit of a broader community out of it, of network of friends and things like that. Like we've already met so many really cool people that we would not have met outside of doing this. And I hope to just keep that going, like keep those relationships alive and going, and just expand the community a little bit. As well as doing something I've never done before that is real scary, and just being able to say I did it.
Yes.
I have done this.
Nice.
And
I love that.
I think too, like just a tag along was like being able to, this experience has been so great, like having like the other contestants and be able to have like the camaraderie, and like, you make the little jokes to like kind of egg each other on, but just like that is like really cool. Like all the contestants and the mentors have been super sweet to like each of us. Like, obviously there's a little competition, but it's
Friendly
everybody's-
competition.
Friendly competition.
Yeah, look at that. Unite the fight, uniting people.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Thank you so much, Steven, for your time. It's been great getting to know you. Hopefully we'll be able to raise some money for a kind clinic and help change some people's lives.
Alrighty, y'all, and if y'all were inspired by this video and want to go ahead and show some support to these great organizations, go ahead and follow our journey at workinprogress.tv. That's WERK. And go ahead and buy your tickets for Unite the Fight, donate, or just follow our journey. We're so excited, and we'll see you there at the Fairmount on September 12th. Bye, y'all.
Yes.